What's going on? I had to come back because I usually don't come live on the weekend, but there is some breaking news and one story I forgot to talk about this morning. In that long ass live, I forgot to talk about one thing this morning. So I decided to come back to give you some updates on some real, real disturbing updates on some things that I have talked to you about here before. Um, uh, if you if you are concerned about how this government um is just really inept and have put people in positions that are really endangering your health, your long being, that of yourself, your loved ones, your children, or whatever. I have the phone numbers. I would advise anyone who gives a damn about what's going on in this administration. It is frightening. Breaking news I found out after the live is that there is a report that Elon Musk had a very open, allegedly a very open relationship with hard drugs, including ketamine abuse, abusing ketamine daily to the point where he was having urination issues. One of the telltale signs of abusing ketamine. It could have been one or two things: a painful bladder, or urinating on himself in public, uncontrolled urination of himself. I see. Have always asked, have they given this person who they let up into all of our government information a drug test? The White House was asked once and they refused to answer. So we can assume that that is a no. A report has come out that he was taking psychedelics, Ambien, mushrooms, and ketamine. And one more thing, I'm going to show you this report. Please call your congressman and your senators, and call hey Room Shaker, hey Queen Diva, Bird, Indian Wilden. aka before 1492, please contact your representatives. Elon was fucked up. Yes, Elon was fucked up, and Elon, and it has been alleged that these hackers that Elon hired are allegedly as fucked up as he, as doped up on um, drugs that will get your black ass locked up. But they had his white ass all up and through our private information. Our private information that we did not authorize him to have. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised either. Uh, hey Sheila E. Grand Rising. Um, Also, excuse the excuse the ambulance, excuse the ambulance. Also, also there has been an update about that case in Memphis. Did you guys get that phone number? Unfortunately, I don't have a mod in here. Uh, I to drop this phone number. I would come back to this phone number because you guys really need to contact your legislator. I want to. I'm gonna give you the Elon story first. Let me share this link with you, and you can hear all of the illicit drugs. It is being said that from people who were close to him. So let me share this story with you. The title of this Elon bombshell exposed scary health issues, mental health issues, uh, drug health issues. Here we go. I did show you this video of him at the inauguration, spinning his head, looking all doped out, all strung out at the inauguration. Let's go to Adam Mokler, go to his channel, get some information that you can use and understand how this administration is detrimental to your real life. Now, the story I forgot to talk about today is this Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Fake report with fake citations, with fake experiments that he decided to put in a report as the top health guy of the United States that are forbidding real scientists to put things in medical journals. He has put forth a report. Some of these experiments and results have never been done when the people were contacted. He has put sites in that do not even open. And what does the liar Caroline Levitt have to say about? I don't know what's going on out here. I don't know what Caroline Levitt had to say about it. It was a technical era, like it's it was a digital era. If you were in college, you would fail this exam. So it was just a technical era, she says. But let's get into the Musk situation first.
Musk juggled drugs in family drama. As Mr. Musk entered President Trump's orbit, his private life grew increasingly tumultuous, and his drug use was more intense than previously known. This is just reminding me of that clip of Elon Musk rolling his eyes back during the inauguration. Do you remember that one? While Trump was being sworn in, this was Elon Musk. Remember, rebooting, rolling his eyes around, clearly on some sort of drugs. People are saying proof that Elon Musk is not human. Yeah, he's taking an inhuman amount of drugs on a daily basis while trying to alter the political landscape in the U.S. Can we just take a step back? I'll dig in 1 second, but we cannot.
Now, this is a report from the New York. Is it the New York? I don't think it's the Post. It could be the New York Post, the New York Times. This is a report that came out this morning in the New York Times. If you want to read it, go over there and check it out.
Normalize the fact that the richest man on the planet leveraged his wealth, bought Twitter, used it to spread propaganda, and then after he got power, got into the White House, he had Trump pause 40 different regulatory investigations into his companies. This article reads, and he was high while this all happened, by the way. He was on an insane, copious amount of drugs while this happened. This reads, as Elon Musk became one of Donald J. Trump's closest allies last year, leading insane rallies and donating $275 million to help Trump win the presidency, I actually argue that he donated more like $44 billion because him buying Twitter and rebranding it to X was part of this consolidation of power. That propaganda was vital. So after he donated that money, so while Elon donated that money, he was also using drugs far more intensely than previously known, according to people familiar with his activities. Really quickly, if you like the breaking news stories injected straight into your feed, all that I ask is that you scroll down and hit subscribe. We're trying to hit 2 million subscribers by the end of the year to prove a point to MAGA media, to prove a point to Charlie Kirk and to Fox News, and to beat them. So you can join the crew below. But to continue, Mr. Musk's drug use, his consumption was well beyond occasional use. He told people that he was taking so much ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, that it was affecting his bladder, a known effect of chronic use. He took ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms, and he traveled with a daily medication box that had about 20 pills, including ones with the marking of the stimulant Adderall, according to a photo of the box and people who have seen it. Here's the thing. I'm not going to judge people for occasionally doing shrooms. Do you know how many damn friends in college I had?
Okay, let me say this. Your friends in college are not over dismantling the government. So there's that. Today, when asked, Stephen Miller deflected questions on Musk's drug use, focusing on broader drug use concerns, and said, "How does broader if somebody in their regular life decides to do drugs, how does that broader affect you and how you live your life? If somebody who calculated and is in a position of power to rewrite things in your life, but going into databases and changing things in your life, like how many points that you have earned in your working life to go towards your future retirement, Social Security retirement. How that affects me more in my real life. If we got a junkie in there able to get into that type of stuff, how does that affect your real live life? Talking about broader drug use, drug use does not affect me and how I live my life at all, because I don't use any drugs. That's how broader drug use affects my life. This is I'm reading an update on my phone. This article is from The Hill. When they asked Stephen Miller about Elon's drug use, also the White House press conference is supposed to have a press conference with Musk this afternoon. Is it still morning? It's almost noon my time. I don't know if they've had this press conference, but I'm wondering if anybody has or will ask the president. This press is so pathetic that I'm sure that if it has already happened or when it happens, no one will bring that point up in this joint press conference that the Muskrat is supposed to have with 4547.
That would do shrooms on like a bi-year ketamine, Adderall, psychedelic mushroom world in this position of power, and you're abusing ketamine, Adderall, psychedelic mushrooms, ecstasy, and then peeing yourself, that is not okay. That is not okay whatsoever, and that is a different story. One more time, if you're taking Adderall because you're prescribed, that's different than Elon Musk abusing these drugs. It is unclear whether Mr. Musk, 53, was taking drugs when he became a fixture at the White House this year and was handed the power to slash the federal bureaucracy. But he has exhibited erratic behavior, insulting cabinet members, gesturing like a Nazi, and garbling his answers in a staged interview. Remember, Elon Musk and I believe it was Bessent started yelling F you at each other because Elon Musk is erratic. On Wednesday evening, Mr. Musk announced that he was ending his stint with the government after lamenting how much time he had spent on politics instead of his business. Now you see it coming together. Elon Musk got wind of the story. I can almost guarantee the Trump administration was reached out to by the New York Times for comment, as they always do. And right when the Trump admin got use of this and they heard that there were pictures of Elon Musk's drug box, then they were like, you got to dip. Mr. Musk and his lawyer did not respond to requests for comment this week. Boom. About his drug use and his personal life. He has previously said he was prescribed ketamine for depression, taking it about every 2 weeks. Quote, "I really don't like doing illegal drugs," he told his biographer, but that was a lie. The White House did not respond to questions about whether it had asked Mr. Musk to take drug tests. As a large government contractor, his aerospace firm SpaceX must maintain a drug-free workforce and administers random drug tests to its employees. Mr. Musk has received advanced warning of the tests, according to people close to the process. SpaceX did not respond to questions about those warnings. And here's the thing. Elon Musk can do whatever he wants. When Trump fires the inspectors general who are in charge of investigating these agencies, investigating SpaceX, Tesla, investigating Neuralink, when 40 different investigations are paused, Elon Musk can do whatever he wants. I'm not going to lie. It is very Hitler-esque. You know, Hitler abused amphetamines as well. That was one of Hitler's defining traits in his final.
And let's be clear, while he was over all of these government agencies, he dismantled every agency that had investigation into his own companies for abuse, for racism, for people having to go to work and be called outwardly niggers all day long, every day. These are the investigations that he had squashed on his own companies. Let's be real clear. As he collected $1 billion more in corporate welfare, what do they call them? Not government subsidies for the rich. They call them contracts, government contracts. Let's continue.
Days was abusing amphetamines. I really hope Elon Musk doesn't follow Hitler's suit and what Hitler did last. No, that's really mean. I'm sorry. That is very, very mean. Mr. Musk, who joined the president's inner circle after making a vast fortune on cars, satellites, and rocket ships, has long been known for grandiose statements and mercurial personality. Supporters see him as an eccentric genius whose slash and burn management is key to success. They don't say how haters view him, but I'll say how haters view him. Haters view him as a drug and power-addicted lunatic who may have a shred of intelligence somewhere in there, but that is obscured by a cloud of right-wing propaganda that he himself has lunged himself into by buying X and creating such a self-feedback loop that he's not able to break out of an algorithm that has poisoned his brain. He's poisoned his brain so much he has isolated himself from his 35 kids. He's isolated himself from his 3 ex-wives. He is drug addicted. He cannot stop sucking Donald Trump's dick on a daily basis. Also that his companies can have investigations into them paused. 40 different billions of dollars, all while addicted to drugs. It's a pretty good return if you ask me.
Okay, hold on.
Billions of dollars. And remember, he spent $275 million raw out of pocket to get Trump elected. In turn, he makes billions of dollars, all while addicted to drugs. It's a pretty good return, if you ask me. But to continue,
a great return on his investment, and they want to bemoan, oh, he's lost $1 billion. That's because of his own behavior. Do you care that another drug addict, how much money they lost because of their behavior? No, you say that, well, good for him. Well, good for him as well. At all while propagating hate and all this, he is so against DEI. He was the one of the people who first came out tweeting about equality initiatives in the government being so wrong when he started hating on Joe Biden and his equality and diversity initiatives. And what was the first thing that was snatched out of the government in this administration? DEI. It became a poison word. Everything was the fault of DEI. The helicopter that and the plane that crashed. It was because of DEI. DEI. You heard DEI 5,000 times a day in the first days of this administration. And how many people have lost jobs behind this drug addict? Alleged drug addict, but we see it for what it is. People not blind.
Last year, Mr. Musk jumped into the political arena. Some people who knew him worried about his frequent drug use, mood swings, and fixation on having more children. This account of his behavior is based on private messages obtained by the New York Times, as well as interviews with more than a dozen people who have known or worked with him. This year, some of his longtime friends have renounced him, pointing to some of his public conduct. Quote, Elon has pushed the boundaries of his bad behavior more and more, said Philip Lowe, a neuroscientist and a longtime friend of Mr. Musk, who criticized him for his Nazi-like gesture at a rally. And some women are challenging Mr. Musk for control of their children. One of his former partners, Claire Boucher, the musician known as Grimes, has been fighting with Musk over their 5-year-old son, known as X. Mr. Musk is extremely attached to the boy, taking him to the Oval Office and to high-profile gatherings that are broadcast around the world. Grimes has privately complained that the appearances violate a custody settlement in which she and Mr. Musk agreed to keep their children out of public eye. Another mother, Ashley St. Clair, said her secret relationship ended in a child with Musk, and he's not providing support. Mr. Musk has described some of his mental health issues in interviews, saying he has great highs and terrible lows. He has a history of recreational drug use. In an interview, he says he took a small amount of ketamine, but there are reports that he has actually developed a far more serious habit. Mr. Musk has been using ketamine often, sometimes daily, and mixing it with other drugs, according to people familiar with his consumption. The line between medical use and recreation was blurry, troubling some people close to him. He also took ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms at private.
So the New York Times has this article. The Trump campaign, the Trump administration had did not get back with them, nor did the Musk. They were they were. It was well understood that the New York Times had this on him, and all of a sudden, you noticed well, he was supposed to leave at the end of March anyway. So, New York Times, media, how long have you had this story? He could only be a special government official for I think 130 days, and it was due to be over at the end of this month. We are at the end of this month, so I'm wondering how long had the New York Times had this story and didn't print it until his last day in office. Curious. You know, our media ain't shit.
Gatherings, maybe even political gatherings, across the United States and at least in one other country, according to those who attended the events, literally representing the United States of America. The Food and Drug Administration has formally approved the use of ketamine only as an anesthetic in medical procedures. I mean, this photo looks a lot differently now that we know about his drug use. And also this video looks a lot different now that we know about his drug use. But to continue, the Food and Drug Administration has formally approved ketamine, but that is not how he's using it. By the spring of last year, Mr. Musk was ramping up criticism of President Joe Biden, particularly his policies on illegal immigration and DEI. Mr. Musk was also facing federal investigations into his businesses. Quote, "There are at least half a dozen initiatives of significance to take me down," he wrote in a text message to someone close to him in May. Clear paranoia. And then he stopped those investigations because of drug use. Quote, "I can't be president, but can I help Trump defeat Biden? And I will." Quote, "The Biden administration views me as the number 2 threat after Trump," said Elon Musk. He then publicly endorsed Mr. Trump in July. This adds a lot of context to their relationship. On October 5th, he appeared with Mr. Trump at a rally.
What did they say? What did they call this? Hey, Sincere. Hey, Dr. Soapy. Paid to play. Paid to get out of his personal troubles and put his personal troubles on other people by taking people's jobs to get out of investigation of how he's such a fucking junkie that he does anything that he wants. And we're going to get into that. If you want to see the remainder of this, go check out Adam Mokler. The link is in my description box. Let's get into more ways that he did some dope addict type of shit while in office. Shall we? You guys who are not asleep, you guys have been over here with me talking about how he is behind the 8 ball, and he is trying to create this the greatest AI that there has ever been, and he needs all this ground for these supercomputers to cool off all of this data, because this is what the people in the United States are dick jockeying to who has the best AI system. And so Elon Musk belatedly decided to get in the game, and of course he says he's going to be the best and the biggest, and which means that there's more land needed to cool off these computers that are using this information. However, over in China, and it costs billions of dollars. Over in China, they have already mastered this without having zero supercomputers, zero lands that they need to cool off of banks and banks of computer banks. They don't need any of this to cool off all of this. These computers, these supercomputers, they don't need any of this. They don't need acres and acres of land, and they did it for under $6 million. So he is late in the game. He is behind Google. He is behind Microsoft. He's behind all of this AI technology, and he wants to be the biggest and the best. So what? This junkie, this ne'er do well junkie is late to the game. So what does he decide to do? He decides to do everything illegal, and who cares? He shopped around some places and he found Memphis. Who gives a fuck? It's Memphis, Tennessee. He put it in the backyard of some Negroes. Who gives a fuck about what he has to do to catch up in this game that he has, to this dance that he has been late coming to? You guys remember me sharing this information with you. So let's see what is the latest about these supercomputers that the Muskrat had set up in Memphis. Come to find out, one of the first questions in the first thing that I showed you about Musk getting buying a place in Memphis. Understand that nobody, people even in the government of Memphis didn't know about it, because he pinned the deal allegedly with the mayor only in a NDA agreement about this deal. He talked to the power company, and the power company was not forthcoming with their discussions. The only thing that they said, that they did not have any agreement with Musk. So here we are 3 or 4 months later, and let's see how he excelled this Grok super computer warehouse. Okay, here we go.
Sometimes the most shocking corporate misconduct is hidden in plain.
And the second update I gave you, that he was without permit. He was using 33 turbine combustors, 33, and didn't ask for a permit for one. And after that story came out, he belatedly applied for a permit to run 15. And then the city council, you didn't even know he was doing this AI thing anyway. He did it under NDA with the mayor, and now you're going to come out and say, well, and he's operating 15 and he has a permit. And then they took cameras out there, and they saw all of these. They saw 35 machines out there when he had a permit for none of them. And they said, oh, he's just stockpiling them for when he used them. And they say that these things are very expensive. Why would you stockpile them for when you are going to need them in the future? And then they did they put a drone over them at nighttime. And you see all of these lights that are lit up. Those are the power turbines. And how many were lit up? 33. 33. Let's continue.
Plain sight, invisible to the naked eye.
What is happening here will swallow our world if we don't stop it right here, right now.
Looking back, there was an early clue that the world's richest man was up to something here.
It's just like, why is Elon Musk coming to Memphis?
The people of Memphis soon found out.
Now Elon Musk is coming to Memphis to build the world's largest supercomputer.
A year later,
We here because we need food.
people here want answers.
It's just time for the health department to protect our lungs and not run from the winter XAI to see that they have 35 gas turbines operating and polluting our air.
We went to Memphis and found an environmental crime scene. Musk's data center burning enough methane to power a small city with no permits and no pollution controls.
I have not seen anything like this. We believe they've already violated the Clean Air Act.
As Musk helps dismantle the very federal agency that's supposed to protect us against pollution like this.
There is no way to miss how this is a coordinated strategy.
What does Memphis reveal about the future?
So now you wonder, do you not wonder why they want to shut down the EPA? They want to shut down regulations so they can do things like this. But they do things like this anyway. You heard him say out of his own mouth, if we cut too much, then we go back and we put it back. So this is something you're cutting too much, and how are you going to go back and put clean air back in the bodies of these people who you are making sick? Wait till you find out what is being emitted in the exhaust of these 33 turbines that he's using. They say the air around them, you can smell it all in the air. No notification, no giving a fuck. Oh, so how are you going to go back and fix it?
Future Elon Musk wants for us all.
So the mission of XAI and Grok is to understand the universe.
In 2023, Musk founded XAI to produce and sell artificial intelligence.
We want to understand the nature of the universe so we can figure out where are the aliens, what's the meaning of life, how does the universe end.
Its main product is Grok, an AI chatbot that he's incorporated into Twitter, or X. Musk was entering the race to dominate the AI market, but he was arriving late, years after competitors like OpenAI and Google had begun training their AI systems. So in Musk's mind, he had to move fast.
We went to the data center providers and said, how long would it take to have 100,000 GPUs operating coherently in a single location? And we got timeframes from 18 to 24 months. So we're like, well, 18 to 24 months, that means losing is a certainty. So the only option was to do it ourselves.
Been waiting for this moment. I am pleased to announce that XAI's Gigafactory of Compute, the world's largest supercomputer, is to be located in Memphis, Tennessee.
Nobody in the local government knew anything about this, and until it was announced. Let's continue.
Musk dubbed the project Colossus, after a movie about a supercomputer that becomes sentient and assumes total control of the world.
And so, my fellow human beings, we all directly and indirectly live in the shade, but not the shadow of Colossus.
When you think about the computational power that it will take to put humans on the surface of Mars, that's going to come from the Gigafactory of Compute that calls Memphis home. We were told that by the company. And so it required speed and power.
It's announced as a done deal.
Keyshawn Pearson grew up in South Memphis.
A billionaire and his organization is coming to our city, and we're just finding out after the land has been purchased, after the project has been approved by certain officials, right, who did know.
This is huge. This puts the word out there that Memphis understands operating at the speed of business.
As a community, we're trying.
Operating at the speed of business. But what about the life? Nobody cares about. You see who are sitting in front of these houses that are suffering from the impact of this business.
Trying to reach out to people and understand what is XAI. He built it without us even knowing that it was being.
I don't see any Black construction workers helping build this either. I just see the effects in the Black community of them getting sick from it.
Built.
We had to watch this over X or Twitter. Brent Mayo, Elon Musk would tweet often about where they were in the progress, how fast things were moving.
To train an AI system, a data center requires an enormous amount of electricity. The question was, where would the power come from?
Most companies, when they come to the city of Memphis, they plug into our power grid. That's what you think would happen. Why would this be any different? Unfortunately, we learned because it is a billionaire's corporation, it would be a lot different.
XAI made a deal with the local electric company for 150 megawatts of power and agreed to build a new substation to help meet that demand. But Musk's ambitious plans suggested he would need much more power than that, and fast. Soon, people started to notice some unusual structures outside the facility.
I drove out there, and the first thing I did was hear the turbines. You can smell it as well. Such a disturbingly unique smell.
From the road, Keyshawn and others could see a row of machines that are typically only used for remote or emergency operations. Mobile gas turbines.
I have never seen portable turbines used like this.
Patrick Anderson works on air quality cases for the Southern Environmental Law Center.
We know that these kinds of generators require air permits. And so right off the bat, we started filing records requests with the
I want you to understand, this has gone on this year. They acquired the building sometime in November, and they start working on the whole. I'm not going to say a building, the whole campus. In I believe it was February. So all of this illegal stuff that has been going on this year, as he's saying how lying and telling lies about how poor people are getting are waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. All of this is going on while he's in the government collecting all our data. The data is what AI must have, and he has collected it all. He's late to the party, and he's trying to catch up. Let's continue.
The local Shelby County Health Department. Do you have an air permit application from XAI? And they came back and basically said, no, we have nothing to hand over. We also filed records requests with EPA to see what they had. They also did not have details on what is on the ground out there. Nobody from the regulatory side, the health department, the city, EPA, has told the public or us really one iota of what's actually operating out there.
To figure that out, Patrick and his team hired a photographer to capture the data center from above. The images revealed far more turbines than anyone knew about. 35.
I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely stunned. How do we not know about this?
According to XAI leadership, the turbines are not being used and are not connected.
Under pressure, XAI claimed it was using less than half of those turbines.
I've talked to the XAI leadership team. There are.
So first it was none of them were being used. Now here come, I talked to, I can't be lied to. They told me
35, but there are only 15 that are on. The other ones are stored on the site.
Well, first off,
there are only 15 that are on. Well, sir, did they show you those permit for those 15? No, they didn't, because they didn't have permit for the 15. They went back and got permits for the 15 after you asked them and allowed them to lie to your face. They had previously said none of them were on. But then they told you they got 15. How come you ask them for the permit? I mean, what did they promise you? A janitor job or something? Because surely they're not going to offer you anything that's going to enrich your life, enrich your death maybe, and the death of your people maybe. So you get on camera and act like it's all good.
Being used and are not connected.
Under pressure, XAI claimed it was using less than half of those turbines.
I've talked to the XAI leadership team. There are 35, but there are only 15 that are on. The other ones are stored on the site.
Well, first off, these are expensive. There's a turbine shortage nationally. You don't obtain these turbines and put them on site if you're not intending to operate them.
So Patrick and his team sent the photographer back out with a high-end thermal camera.
What we saw is 33 of the 35 were very clearly operating.
The turbines were capable of generating about 420 megawatts of electricity, enough to power around 300,000 homes.
They've built a power plant out there. And they've done it overnight, no air pollution controls, quick and dirty, no permit.
I mean, what you've done with the cluster in Memphis is incredible. Just in a handful of weeks.
Any given thing can be sped up. Like whatever speed is being done, it can be done faster.
This is the anything can be sped up. Whatever can be done faster. And it can be done illegally as well. Hey, Detach Myself. Hey, Vibrant Law, Sincere Saida, who else came? Z Sarah, I don't think I spoke to you. Hello, Tebe Forever. Thank you guys for coming in. I just wanted to give you guys an update. Queen Diva, did I speak to you? I think I saw you, Queen Diva. If not, forgive me. Bernice, hey Bernice, let's continue. Anything that can be done faster. If you're rich, no one's going to question you, and you can do whatever illegally, no matter who it harms. Look at him. He's sitting up there with the knowledge that he is polluting the air around all of these black people who are actually taxpayers in Memphis. And whoever he got these agreements with in this non-disclosure agreement, that agreement should be null and void, and it should be cracked open, and whoever allowed this should go to jail, because non-disclosure agreements do not apply when there is a crime committed. Let's continue.
The largest AI cluster in the world. This place is absolutely amazing.
That is like superhuman. I mean, Elon is singular. Building a massive factory in the short time that was done, there's only one person in the world who could do that.
And this entire
somebody who doesn't abide by the law. You're right. The world's richest man who does not abide by any laws and continues to feed off the government.
Our supercomputer is built to power Grok.
We were given a tour at XAI, looking at the facility. Very impressive, very exciting for Memphis.
Bill Lee, the governor of Tennessee. Well, my goodness, this is January 9th, 2025. Bill Lee. Bill Lee is pleased.
Their commitment to the community is remarkable.
It's unique.
Their commitment to the community is what? He stuttered to find a word. Or remarkably bad, remarkably unaware or uncaring. That type of remarkably.
Unique in my experience.
Joseph Goffman has worked on air pollution issues for decades. Until January, he ran the EPA office that regulates air quality.
Most companies that I've dealt with go to great lengths and spend a lot of money to make sure that the day they turn on their operations, they're also turning on their pollution control equipment. That's a given. For a company to do this, it's treating the people who live there as if they don't count.
I like to open my windows early in the morning to breathe the fresh air, God's given air, not the air that man want to give us, but God.
Easter Knox lives just over a mile from XAI.
I really wasn't getting the fresh air. I was getting that pollution that was mixed in with everything.
You know how you light your stove and that gas seeps with the little ticking noise? That's what it smelled like.
Alexis Humphreys grew up here, one street away from Easter.
When I smelled it the first time, I was asleep. And it woke me up because I thought gas was seeping in the house, but come to find out, we come outside and all the neighbors was outside trying to figure out what's going on.
He was an ordinary dad, full of joy, full of jokes.
Last year, Alexis lost her grandfather, who struggled with a respiratory illness called chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD.
COPD is a breathing condition, but you don't get it unless you smoke cigarettes. And my granddad didn't smoke cigarettes, but every 3 weeks or so, my granddad was going to the hospital. He would have to get breathing treatments. I have asthma, bronchitis. My mom have just bronchitis, and now my granny has it.
You can't hardly breathe. It's just like your whole world is collapsing down on you, and it's frightening.
Easter and her husband have also developed COPD. What does it feel like?
Feel like you're fixing to die.
The area around XAI leads the state in emergency department visits for asthma. Memphis has one of the highest rates of toxic air releases of any American city, and many of its most polluting facilities are in this neighborhood.
Elon, what he did with Memphis is objectively somewhat dirty, but he's also doing it in an area where there's like a bigger natural gas plant right next door. And
it's somewhat dirty. You see the smile on his face, or it's somewhat dirty because he doesn't have to live there. Elon, there's bigger problems there. So he's just adding on with his 33 turbine engines. Look at the smile on his face. Oh, these fucking disgusting people.
An area where there's like a bigger natural gas plant right next door, and like a wastewater treatment and a garbage dump.
Okay, all of those things are next door, but are they following the EPA regulations? Let's start from the beginning of what this idiot is saying, with a smile on his face, and over here on his N9 visa to work for Elon Musk.
Nearby, right? And he's obviously made the world a lot more clean than that one data center.
In just 1 year, XAI has blown.
He's made the world more cleaner than that one data center, and he throws his hands like, whatever, forget about. He's done more for the whole world, and that one data center, he threw his he flicked his wrist at, oh well, you know, that's just one data center. Look what he did around the world. Don't look at what he's doing. Let's look at what we are pretending that he does around the world. That is so great. Don't worry about them. This is just that's a black neighborhood. Yeah, look at the audacity. What about the world you come from? Let's talk about the world that you come from, where they have a sewage right there on the beach, where your residents go to the beach and wash their faces off in water that has raw sewage, a big wide raw sewage pump dumping raw sewage into the ocean. You were so happy to get your ass over here, and then got the nerves to throw your hand at a black community you see that black community is not trash ridden. These people obviously respect their homes, their community. You saw the aerial photos. This wasn't no shot down community. They took if they didn't take pride in where they live, you'd have saw knee-high grass and all this type of shit, and he gonna throw his hand. This motherfucker. Ugh.
Door and like a wastewater treatment and a garbage dump nearby, right? And he's obviously made the world a lot more clean than that one data center.
In just 1 year, XAI has blown past existing polluters.
They're emitting somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 tons of NOx. I'm an air pollution guy, so I deal in those numbers all the time, and that's larger than anything else in Memphis.
Gas turbines like these release three main types of deadly pollution: nitrogen oxides, formaldehyde, and fine particulate matter. Nitrogen oxides combine with other pollutants to form ground-level ozone, which causes and worsens asthma and COPD. Formaldehyde causes cancer. And particulate matter, airborne soot, can pass through your lungs and into your bloodstream, causing heart disease.
We've shown up today because we've been to too many funerals. We've shown up today because we've cried too many tears. We've shown up here today because we're tired. And we have an expectation of the people that we elect and put into place. We expect them to do what is in our best interest. Not Elon Musk. And what we're saying is that stops now.
In April, hundreds of people came to a high school in South Memphis to talk about XAI. In January, the company belatedly applied for a permit to operate 15 of its turbines for 5 years.
I'm going to invite a representative up from the applicant XAI, Mr. Brent Mayo.
It be your own people. So Brent Mayo, let's see what he has to say, and let's see what questions he takes.
That's the first time that XAI has publicly addressed the community in any way.
Understand? You probably don't want to hear the statement, but again, XAI is committed to meeting the highest standard for emissions. XAI is going above and beyond the required emission control. To that, thank you very much for your time.
He immediately left after reading his script. It's extremely disrespectful.
It's time to start telling the truth. The truth is that XAI, who just ran up out of here, they have no controls that prevent air pollution or decrease air pollution in their factories. None. That's the truth.
To date, local and state authorities have taken no action against XAI. Running turbines without permits or pollution controls is also a violation of the Clean Air Act, which it's the EPA's job to enforce. But to date, the EPA has done nothing, and Elon Musk is doing what he can to keep it that way. Musk has helped the Trump administration place strict limits on the EPA's budget as part of President Trump's broader project to radically reshape the agency. Trump's EPA has begun what it calls the biggest deregulatory action in U.S. history.
To fulfill President Trump's promise to unleash American energy and give power back to the states.
It eliminated the EPA's office that assists heavily polluted communities like South Memphis and canceled billions of dollars of funding for addressing pollution.
So you've slashed already $22 billion in grants, but you use Doge, if I'm not mistaken, to take down your headcount?
It's been great. The people who work on the Doge mission are EPA employees. What they provide to me are recommendations. I have found that working with Elon and Doge has been fantastic, a big help to our efforts.
In March.
Of course it has. And whose effort does it helps the most? At the cost of who the most? So I just really thought that you guys needed to see what this alleged drug addict has been doing, and these white men who want to be so close to money and power will do to stay in touch with the money and the power. After these people are killing us. Call your congressman, call every congressman. You don't just have to call just yours. You don't have to call just your senator and complain because with all they had a budget finance thing. None of the congressmen asked him a goddamn thing about what's going on in Memphis. None of them asked him nothing. You can go and Google that where they were questioning the EPA. I think it was last week. And nobody brought up any of this that is going on in Memphis. So that is, the link is in my description box as well. Okay, and let's talk about who else is killing us. Our health departments are killing us. What is he's over? JFK Jr., who is over all of the health departments from the HIH, the Health and Human Service president, chair. He is killing us. Let's talk about these fake MAHA reports that were sent out by this idiot RFK Jr. and his staff. You know, he's not sitting there typing out the report. His staff let this go by. And had not the press reviewed and tried to look at some of these lying reports that he put in there and contacted the alleged person who had did these reports, these non-existent reports, they wouldn't have known that these were non-existent reports jam-packed in this report from the Health and Human Services of all people. My goodness, he's drinking water and his tag is in his bowl. Okay, so let's get into this. and fake sites, fake links. But Caroline Levitt said, "Oh, it was just a problem with the formatting. It was a problem with the formatting." And what about the people who said that they were quoted and their results were skewed to mean something that the results didn't show? All of this in the Make America Healthy Again. From It's a mess.
Healthy Again Commission as a game-changing document addressing chronic health problems in children. But
Hold
as
on.
Notice first
Too
reported,
fast.
the report contains some mistakes. Here's how Notice put it. Quote, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says his Make America Healthy Again Commission report harnesses gold standard science, citing more than 500 studies and other sources to back up its claims. The White House hailed the first report from the Make America Healthy Again Commission as a game-changing document addressing chronic health problems in children. But as Notice first reported, the report contains some mistakes. Here's how Notice put it. Quote, Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says his Make America Healthy Again Commission report harnesses gold standard science, citing more than 500 studies and other sources to back up its claims. Those citations, though, are rife with errors from broken links to misstated conclusions. 7 of the cited sources don't appear to exist at all. My panel is back with me, including reporter from Notice, Jasmine Wright, who asked the White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt about this yesterday.
A Notice investigation found that the Hallmark MAHA Commission report that was released last week cites studies that appear to not exist. We know that because in part, we reached out to some of the listed authors who said that they didn't write the studies cited. So I want to ask, does the White House have confidence that the information coming from HHS can be trusted?
Yes, we have complete confidence in Secretary Kennedy and his team at HHS. I understand there were some formatting issues with the MAHA report that are being addressed, and the report will be updated, but it does not negate the substance of the report, which, as you know, is...
If the people who were credited in that report said that they did not do these studies, how is formatting the issue? And how do you stand behind the reports that are in there when the people who are alleged to have done these studies say we did not do this study? You're getting bullshit, and it is at the detriment of your fucking health and safety. From this administration who is only in office for their own personal wealth. I just had to come back on this because this shit is ridiculous.
It's one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government.
It's one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government, this bitch said. Look at the look on this reporter's face, who has done the work, who knows that this shit is not true that's in this report. And this is what she's getting back in her face. Like, bitch, what? Hair. We got to go back to hair. Hey, Liz Livos. It was a couple of things that I missed in a breaking story that I wanted to update about what's going on in Memphis with Elon Musk totally decimating the environment with his turbines. And I forgot to touch on this MAHA fake report with fake studies and outcomes and all of this in it, and the lies that once questioned about this study, this dumb bitch over here sits up and lies.
As you know, is one of the most transformative health reports that has ever been released by the federal government, and is backed on good science that has never been recognized by the federal government.
It's backed on good science that has never been recognized by the federal government. Maybe they recognized that it was bullshit science, and it could not. It's not worth putting in our Health and Human Services reports. Why would we put bogus science in our report? And it has never been put in there before. Maybe there's a reason why it's never been put in there before. Fake, how can it be put in our health reports when these experiments that are quoted don't even exist, you stupid bitch? Now, let's see what she has to say.
I mean, I feel like I have so many things to say about this, but formatting issues is not one of them, right? Like 7 sources were completely non-existent. My colleagues who I want to credit, Notice fellows like 22-year-olds, Emily Kennard and Margaret Mano, took 5 days going through 522 citations, checking them all. And 7 of them just frankly didn't exist. I don't think that that's a formatting issue. Others, of course, were a little bit more technical. Maybe some of the links were broken, or maybe some of the conclusions that they came to by using some of these valid valid, authors or articles didn't match exactly what the article said. But it's not formatting issues. I also asked her, quite frankly, did you guys use AI? Because that was the conversation happening. Because sometimes when you use AI and you kind of put it all into the machine, I feel like I'm dating myself by saying it like that. It basically hallucinates links. It hallucinates citations. She obviously didn't have an answer for that. And so I think this idea that it's just a formatting issue versus the way that they put it together is a bit different. And I think that the last thing I'll say is that, the HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, frankly, faces an uphill battle when it comes to his credibility with his own team, with the MAHA movement, particularly because of some of the things that he said on vaccines and other more controversial issues. And even though it may seem small that just 7 citations didn't exist or others had broken links, when it comes to the medical field, every detail matters. And it's very hard to build credibility, to have the American people trust what you are putting out if, your I's aren't dotted and your T's are crossed.
Well, that's what I.
Hey, Spicy Dicey, welcome. I spoke to everyone else. Liz Livos, I spoke to you. Yeah, I just needed you guys to hear
From
this.
some people in the MAHA movement today, which is a lot of frustration, that what they wanted to be out there, which is the sort of substance of what they have been pushing for a long time, which is that chemicals make you sick and plastics are bad, and the food and dye industry are, have really negative effects on the health and well-being of our children. That is
So does those turbines that Musk is running in Memphis. Is anything in that report about that and how the EPA could help that? But the EPA is in bed with Musk to make cuts to the EPA and limit the amount of cleanliness the EPA has to ensure that the air will be. None of that's in the report, Dana.
Buried beneath these errors, which, as you said, your colleagues found when they went through. You said 5 days they spent going through
5 days going through 522 citations.
So the Washington Post also had a report on it this week. Of the 522 footnotes to scientific research, initial version of the report sent to the Washington Post, at least 37 appear multiple times. Other citations include the wrong author, and several studies cited by the extensive health report do not exist at all. And then some of the references are OAI's site, which you were referring to that. That's what happens with AI.
Right. Yeah. That's what happens when you use AI, and that's kind of the citation that it gives back to show that this was gathered by AI. Now, of course, the HHS has not said that they use AI. We've asked them. I asked Caroline that briefing. We also, they had 24 hours plus to respond to this report, and they didn't.
No, I mean, it's not just sloppy work, which is what the errors are, but it's also the fact that a number of studies didn't exist. So what exactly are they basing what they put in the report on if the studies that they're citing didn't exist? And they haven't provided those answers, it sounds like. This is in addition to the fact that just this week, the HHS Secretary, RFK Jr., came out and said, pregnant women don't need to be taking COVID vaccines anymore. That directly contradicts what a week prior the FDA and his other agencies had recommended, which was actually pregnancy is high risk, is considered high risk, and therefore we recommend that COVID boosters are given to pregnant women. So across the board, you're seeing contradictions and a bit of basically like the RFK Jr. saying very different things than the rest of the HHS apparatus is saying.
Yeah, and look, I mean, like you were saying, they are understandably under a very, very strong microscope because of the several things that RFK Jr. in particular have said way before he was confirmed, but also the promises that he made when he was confirmed to people like Senator Bill Cassidy, who was a medical doctor who was not sure about him and then decided to vote yes. The flip side of it is the question of whether, which is what the people in the MAHA movement are arguing, is whether or not this is the industry. I'm just telling you what they're arguing. This is the industry trying to torpedo what they have been trying to get out there for a very long time.
Well, listen, I mean, I think the onus was on them to put out a report that could withstand scrutiny, the scrutiny of the 22-year-olds who went through and found that some of these citations were false. And I think if you're Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who sometimes, quite frankly, sounds like a conspiracy theorist when he's talking about autism and vaccines, when he's talking about measles and vaccines, he has an even higher bar, to your point, to clear when it comes to this. And besides, the other thing is DOJ has wiped out a lot of these scientists, a lot of these experts, and so there should be concern about what kind of information they're putting out and whether it's basically just something that they put into the AI machine.
Just real quick, can you put this into context? I mean, I know you don't spend most of your day going through government studies, but historically speaking, they're pretty buttoned up.
Especially in the medical capacity. I mean, to your point, that credibility is so critical. So yes, government reports are usually buttoned up, but especially in.
So That link is in my description box. We got a bunch of idiots running our government and in the most important arenas about our health. And we have a alleged drug addict combing through our data at will to gain or change anything he wants to. And let's talk about the newest hire to this administration. This one again comes from Adam Mokler. Let's get into it. A new hire.
On YouTube, and it's just a scrappy team of young people and you guys helping me. So let's continue pushing, and let's start here. Trump nominates a former far-right podcast host to head an ethics watchdog. I mean, I don't even know a watchdog committee ran by a 29-year-old who is openly bigoted and corrupt himself. This says the president picked Paul Ingrassia, the current White House liaison to the Department of Homeland Security, to lead the Office of Special Counsel, which examines public corruption. This post on Twitter reads, Trump just nominated Paul Ingrassia to run the Office of Special Counsel. Ingrassia is a former far-right podcast host and election denier who once shared an article calling for martial law to keep Donald Trump in office following his loss in the 2020 election. He's 29. He must have been, 24 or 25 when he shared that article?
Now, here's the announcement. I'm pleased to nominate Paul Ingrassia to head of the United States Office of Special Counsel. Paul is a highly respected attorney, writer, and constitutional scholar because he wanted to close the United States down and declare martial war. He's a constitutional scholar who has done a tremendous job serving me as my White House liaison for Homeland Security. Paul holds degrees from both Cornell Law School and Fordham University. Fordham University, they gave you a F. I showed that earlier. Fordham, I think that was Fordham University that gave you 45, 47, an F in statistics, a D plus in English literature, and C minus in all of your other grades. That Fordham University, where he majored in mathematics, economics, graduating near the top of his class. How near is near the top of his class for a liar? I don't know how near that is. Congratulations, Paul. I wonder if this stupid all these stupid senators going to approve this.
Trump then tweeted, I am pleased to nominate Paul Ingrassia to the head of the United States Office of Special Counsel. Sorry. Absolutely insane. And this is the dude who's tweeted out some vile stuff. Let's start here. Nikki Haley said, Benjamin asks a great question. Why won't Trump debate me? Maybe because he's afraid. And Paul Ingrassia said, it's actually because you're an insufferable bitch. Wow, that is our new Office of
That's who he has nominated. Okay, let's hear more about the new nominee who 4547 has put in charge whistleblower complaints and all of this type of stuff is to go through this guy. Sure, if you have a whistleblower complaint, come to me and trust it'll be taken care of. Shit. Your ass is going to be handed to you. You go to this motherfucker with a whistleblower complaint about the government. Please. Look, he's making sure that no one goes to them with a whistleblower complaint because they know that it would be useless to go to them for a whistleblower complaint.
Special Counsel. What about this one? He said, without Trump, Putin is the most powerful leader in the international arena, standing up for traditional Christianity and Western values. And it's not even close. This was 2 years.
I didn't even know Putin proclaimed to be a Christian. Did you? Okay, this is who is nominated.
Years ago, someone said he is a butcher. And Paul says, yes, a butcher of Globo Homo. But it gets worse. There are more tweets and there are more things that we should talk about regarding this. President Trump nominated Paul Ingrassia. The office, which he's nominated to, has had a bumpy ride in the second Trump presidency. In February, Mr. Trump fired the office's head, Hampton Dellinger. Mr. Dellinger sued to keep his job, was temporarily reinstated by a court order, began investigating complaints arising from the Trump admin's mass firings, then was removed again in March after an appeals court ruled in the admin's favor. What a bumpy, bumpy ride. And again, this office is supposed to be an independent corruption-fighting agency that safeguards federal whistleblowers and enforces some ethics laws. Lord have mercy. Think about this. The man who was supposed to protect whistleblowers from the administration is now going to be a part of the administration. Imagine being trapped in the hell of like needing to report something to an ethics committee, and the person that you're going to report it to would just fire you. And again, this isn't a fluke or some isolated appointment. It's a part of a broader pattern where Trump surrounds himself with young, deeply ideological loyalists whose only real qualification is their willingness to do anything. So let's be clear about who Paul Ingrassia is. He's like your far-right conspiratorial friend from high school that posts this insane manic nonsense about Putin butchering the globo homo. By globo homo, he means 6-year-old children in Ukraine who are being bombed every single day. What about this post from Paul Ingrassia, who is now going to be safeguarding our whistleblowers and investigating corruption? He said less than 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, quote, "We must as a society deport every single one of the 50 million illegals in this country." This number just keeps getting higher and higher. They keep pulling this number out of thin air. 50 million illegal immigrants. We absolutely cannot accept anything less, or else we won't have a country. Quote, "That's too hard." No, it's not. Some of them are nice. Doesn't matter. They're all gone. I don't care if they're anchor babies, children of anchor babies, or great-grandchildren of anchor babies. Out. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be taking a position.
So if they are all of those, and then that would mean 45, 47 would be out. That would mean Elon Musk would be out of the country. That would mean Marco Rubio would be out of the country. So he's I'm kind of he's kind of winning me over here. He won me over with that comment. Those anchor babies would be out as well, as including 45, 47's wife, his children. Yeah, I'm kind of softening on this fella.
Right here that we should be deporting Paul Ingrassia from the United States. We should get him out of here. The next Democratic president should deport Paul Ingrassia. He is somebody who is a threat to the very fabric of this country. He has called for martial law. He makes this country more and more dangerous. He is incredibly divisive. He is somebody who should leave. And we know the Trump admin is okay and willing to do illegal deportation. So after we give Paul Ingrassia due process, we get him out of here. Make sure you drop a like if you agree. Obviously, I say that in jest. We should not be deporting U.S. citizens. Please do not be getting really pissed off. The point is, F this guy and F all of the power Trump is now trying to give him. The office had annoyed Mr. Trump during his first term by pursuing allegations of misconduct, resulting in a finding that 13 senior aides had campaigned for his re-election in violation of the law known as the Hatch Act. Before working for Mr. Trump, Mr. Ingrassia, 30, hosted a podcast called Right on Point with his sister, Olivia. In December of 2020, as Mr. Trump was contesting his election loss to Joe Biden, the podcast posted on Twitter, quote, "Time for real Donald Trump to declare martial law and secure his re-election. This dude is called for martial law." Mr. Ingrassia has represented the, quote, manosphere influencer Andrew Tate, who is facing criminal charges in Romania. Wow, we love people who represent sex traffickers.
And not only is he facing trials, crimes in Romania, he did go back to Romania after it is alleged that, and while 45, 47 denies it, when he came to the United States from Romania, while he was still facing charges in Romania, he was flown into Florida on a private jet, and it was alleged that it was all coordinated by 45, 47. 45, 47 denies it. I don't know. That's where the story goes. I thought he would not ever go back to Romania. He has gone back to Romania, and now the UK has put 21 charges on him and his brothers for SA assaults and all types of stuff, assaults. So the new person that he put in charge of whistleblowers, what he said about Andrew Tate, has represented influencer Andrew Tate. That's why I wanted to. That's what. Okay.
In a Truth Social post on Thursday night, Mr. Trump called Mr. Ingrassia a highly respected attorney, but highly respected to who? Is he more or less respected than Rudy Giuliani? And this is how authoritarianism creeps in. Trump just appointed a very unserious person to a very serious position that is designed to prevent government abuse, all because this administration had, quote, annoyed Mr. Trump during his first term by pursuing allegations of misconduct resulting in a finding that 13 senior aides had campaigned for his re-election in violation of a law known as the Hatch Act. So
he was annoyed with people who really did their job in that job. So therefore, he's gonna put a hack in the job. Let's continue.
any office or institution that annoys Trump or investigates Trump, he wants to silence. The Office of Special Counsel is a nonpartisan agency that is now going to be used as a partisan weapon. This is an agency that for decades has investigated both sides. It's supposed to hold everyone in power accountable, no matter their party. But under Trump, he's doing what he's doing with every institution. He's re-engineering it to protect his own, to protect anybody who does things in his favor, and to intimidate federal employees who speak out rather than protecting them, which is its initial job. Kind of reminds me of Trump during the first week of his second term, doing a midnight firing of a bunch of inspectors general. And those inspectors general were the people who, investigated the fraud, the regulatory fraud that Elon Musk engages in. There were 40 different investigations into Elon Musk's companies, and all of them are slow walked or halted or paused at this point. What does that tell you? Trump is trying to protect his own, silence whistleblowers, and this is the same. We're going to be following this story relentlessly. If you want to help support my team, there are a few ways you can.
Okay, go over there and support Adam Mokler. There's one more thing. Nessie Pooh, as YouTube cameras called her, Nessie Pooh. You may want to get a little shopping bag and put all of your Temu purchases in, because the Supreme Court has allowed 4547 to take back the special protections that Biden had given Venezuelans, Cubans, and Haitians, and has allowed, gave him the green light to deport up to 500,000 people. So this is my last thing that I wanted to share with you. This is what we're going into the weekend. If anybody is paying attention, let me share this link with you.
The Supreme Court has just cleared the Trump administration to temporarily end humanitarian parole protections for 500,000 immigrants. The justices lifted these protections from migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Let's bring in CBS News immigration and politics reporter Camila Montoya Galvez. Camila, what more can you tell us about this ruling?
Hi, Mugo. This ruling will place 500,000 people from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela in legal limbo and will allow the Trump administration to terminate their parole legal status and also their work permits that have allowed them to live and work in the U.S. legally, but on a temporary basis. These are migrants from these 4 crisis-stricken countries who were allowed to legally come to the U.S. under a Biden administration program that was designed to discourage them from crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. But the Trump administration, Mugo, has argued that this policy was unlawful, that it was an abuse of this humanitarian parole policy that the Biden administration used on a very unprecedented scale, and that it needed to be terminated. And now the Supreme Court is allowing the administration to revoke that legal status and now to place these migrants at risk of deportation. The caveat is that some of these migrants, Mugo, may be able to stay here through other means because they have applied for other immigration benefits like asylum or a green card. Cubans, for example, can be eligible for permanent residency or a green card under a Cold War era law. And so those migrants will not be eligible for deportation. But anyone who does not have another immigration status can now be deported from the U.S. And the administration has made this warning very clear. If you are here illegally, you must self-deport. If not, you could face arrest and deportation from the country.
Yeah, a big.
Okay, so that is what I wanted to share with you guys. You guys know that I hate Church Mouse and True Line. You guys know that I'm just joking with Ness. I do believe her that she was born in the United States. So Ness, joke, just a little jokey joke. You are still allowed to work in the United States for what I'm aware. So go on and continue to sell pussy, girl. You can go on and continue to take lunch breaks and go on and continue to sell pussy. All right, guys, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. I wanted to get this out of the way. If you haven't watched the beginning of this video, it's very important to find out that there's about the report about Elon Musk using heavy drugs what was it? Ketamine on a daily basis. This report came out today that he was using ketamine on a daily basis to the point where he was pissing on himself because it has an effect on your bladder. Also using mushrooms, other psychedelics, Ambien. What was that other drug? Ecstasy, all while running through the White House looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. Maybe he should have looked in the mirror. And it goes on to say how he has been poisoning the air in Memphis. And it also goes on to say that the new EPA administrator has been working with Elon, and he thanked Elon for the guidance that he has given. And all while Elon Musk is running 33 turbine engines in the city of Memphis and poisoning the air of the Black homeowners and residents in that area. So this is just an update on stories that I have previously given you about Elon Musk trying to create his Grok in Memphis, 2 years behind everyone else. And he's saying, fuck regulations. Let's get this power going. We don't care. We're going to poison these peon Black people that live in and around this area. We're going to do what we want to do. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. Call your congressman, your senators, call somebody else's congressman and senator and ask them why they have not asked the EPA, the chair of the EPA, any questions about this shit that is going on in Memphis that is killing us. Also, wanted to update you on how the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is unfit. All of these people in this whole administration, I think their only qualifications is that they are unfit. I think that's the qualifications for this administration. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you for coming. And Spicy Dicey, I know I spoke to you. Hey, Spicy Dicey. And that's all I have. Have a great remainder of your week. I'm out of here.